It is tournament time in Dayton, Ohio. Up first today, Temple and North Carolina State. An 8-9 matchup with the winner to face the winner of the Indiana James Madison matchup, which comes here later this afternoon. NC State and Temple. Hello, friends. Jim Nance along with Clark Kellogg. Greatest day of the year. We're going to get to watch 4 games, and what a matchup to start things off.
Fired up and ready to roll, partner. You talk about Temple, one of the elite point guards in the country, and Khalif Wyatt, and then North Carolina State can be scintillating in the open court.
So much history in these programs past. You got Temple making a 31st trip to the NCAA tournament. They do have a change in the starting lineup. Jake O'Brien for Anthony Lee, who is dressed and may play. He's been questionable since having severe headaches after their last game, and there is Lee. The NC State side, by the way, the 24 wins on the year, most since their championship team of 1983 under the direction of Mark Gottfried. And the officials, Pat Driscoll, Terry Oglesby, Kip Kissinger here in Dayton. Temple at 23-9 out of the Atlantic 10. They closed fast at the end of the regular season, and NC State went all the way to the Sweet 16 last year in the tournament.
They got going well late. One of the last teams to receive an at-large bid, the Wolfpack, last season, and made the most of it. Temple, you mentioned, closing strong late, 9-2 in the last 11 in that stretch, Jim, 79 points a game.
Yeah, they had one stretch of 7 straight wins that pretty much guaranteed them a spot in the field here. So we got State now with the first handle. Down low, wide open is Leslie.
Breakdown defensively that time, miscommunication. North Carolina State in the half court wants to space the floor and get looks for Scott Wood, who is an absolute laser from behind the three-point line, and they'll attack inside with Leslie and Howell. Temple, on the other hand, wants to play through Wyatt. O'Brien is a capable three-point shooter, but that one was challenged.
Well, you saw O'Brien handle it, and again, we'll probably see Anthony Lee. You visited with his father this morning, but he had migraine headaches, and after their last game against UMass, he had a tough time. Even day to day leading up to this matchup. That ball blocked. That was Leslie. Got a hand on it, now being chased. Still on the floor, and Warren has it.
That was Lorenzo Brown who made a terrific play. And that kind of energy is something that hasn't been consistently part of North Carolina State's MO.
An NC State team that during the year did beat Duke when it was ranked #1. One of its highlights of a 24-win season. This is Leslie. Gives him 15 a game, taking the jumper. Pulled down by Warren, the freshman.
Well, I like the energy I'm seeing in the first minute plus from North Carolina State. In the last game they played against Miami in the ACC semifinals, this kind of energy was not part of the start.
Here's Brown with the three. And only O'Brien underneath. And, of course, at the top of your screen, you see the banner with all the scores taking place at other tournament sites and the places you can find them with your remote control. This is Hollis-Jefferson getting it back out to O'Brien. Has it taken out of his hands for a moment. Wyatt splits the defenders, takes it to the hole for two.
Old school Philly style. He is so crafty. Doesn't blow by you with speed, but he's able to utilize the ball fake, his tight handle, to get himself all the way to the rim.
And that's why, one example why he is the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, Khalif Wyatt. Open, jumper, no, front of the rim it was for Howell.
Wyatt never gets out of control, always goes at the pace he's most comfortable at.
Here's Wyatt again. That one rattles out. And Howell hits the outlet. Up ahead to Brown. Lorenzo Brown handling it now, the junior from Roswell, Georgia. Third all-time in assists at North Carolina State, and taken away by the Owls.
They've got numbers here if they push it. Elect not to.
Cummings with the three, yes.
That was a little bit of a delayed break, Jim, so they took advantage of the 5-on-4 situation and got the good three-point look for Cummings. Temple won't run as much as NC State looks to, but will do so when the opportunity presents itself.
C.J. Leslie has the first two baskets for the Wolfpack.
Really think it's important for North Carolina State to have C.J. Leslie play a strong game.
Another three. This one by Scooty Randall.
Scooty Randall.
Leslie is so quick and athletic. When he operates 15 feet and in, he's really difficult to handle.
Here's Wood. That shot was blocked. That was Cummings who had a hand on it. And last touch, they say, by the Wolfpack.
That was a predetermined shot attempt by Wood that wasn't really open or available. So far, a couple of threes from Temple, the difference in the game. North Carolina State would like the pace, Jim, to be a little more up and down, but Temple doing a nice job scoring the ball here early.
Baseliner is good by O'Brien. They are hitting their shots here at the beginning. Temple off to a fast start.
Well, we talked about how they've won 9 of the last 11, Jim. In that stretch, 79 points a game, but 46% shooting. And they're picking up with that same type of pace here to start this game.
Yeah, they box out after the Warren misfire. Cummings to O'Brien, all congested over there, looking for help.
Boy, Jake O'Brien had a wide open Hollis-Jefferson, never saw him.
Here is Hollis-Jefferson.
He's been nice playing through in terms of creating opportunities for his team, scoring when he has an opportunity as well. Great start for the Temple Owls here, Jim.
All 5 starters have scored for Temple. They go to the break. The first one up 8.
UNC won the Atlantic Coast Conference and fought for Yale, Canisius, Syracuse, and Michigan State to reach the national championship game, winning in overtime against Kansas 54-53.
All right, thank you, Greg. And the winner of that game will face Creighton or Cincinnati in Philadelphia on Sunday. Albany coming back to the scene of a very near upset in Philadelphia in '06 when they challenged. They had #1 seed UConn down double digits late in the second half before the Huskies came back to win it. Back here, Jim Nance, Clark Kellogg, Tracy Wolfson in Dayton coming out of an NC State timeout. Temple has seen all 5 starters hit a shot. They've only made 1 from the paint, so making them from the outside. And Mark Gottfried called the timeout. There's Brown misfiring from outside. Howell, though, backs it in with the basket. And that ends a 7-0 run by Temple.
Richard Howell is a double-double guy, folks. He can gobble up that weak side glass, and he does so here. Big bucket for NC State. Howell provides it.
It's up. See this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Dayton. Temple up by 6. The Owls' Anthony Lee remains on the bench. As Jim mentioned earlier, concussion-like symptoms all weekend long. He actually passed out in the locker room after the UMass loss. He spent the weekend in the hospital, was cleared to play on Monday. He practiced Wednesday and Thursday. Trainers telling me that he's good to go. Fran Dunphy telling me he'd like to get him in the game. How many minutes remains to be seen, guys?
Thanks, Tracy. And as you see, 10.7 rebounds a game. He's a big part of Temple's success, the sophomore from Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, he sure is. And in talking to his dad over at the hotel prior to getting here, he said Anthony Jr. had been headache-free for the last couple of days, and he expected him to be on the floor. Oh! C.J. Leslie, pogo stick-like.
Off the pass from Lorenzo Brown. And that's going to be a foul on Howell. Wyatt driving in on him.
Jim, this is where North Carolina State is at its best. Turnover, open court action. Leslie, he'll punch it on you. Another look at it. He actually was losing control of that thing, but he was up so high, didn't make a difference.
It was rolling up his hand, but he was way over the cylinder. And now Wyatt is at the line to shoot a couple.
And Jim, that's really a big part of Wyatt's attack. He gets to the line 7 times a game on average. And he's an 83% free throw shooter. So one of the things North Carolina State wants to do with him is wall him up. Don't let him get inside, and then defend him without fouling.
That free throw make ties the Temple single season free throw record. Most makes, tying Hal Lear, a legend. He had his jersey retired in the ceremony back in January, number 6. 1 of 2 for Wyatt, a 13-8 Temple lead here in the first half in Dayton.
Well, nice help by Jake O'Brien. They're really conscious of where Scott Wood is. They don't want to give him any open looks at that three-point line.
And Brown with a 3, and first outside shot for NC State to drop. Lorenzo Brown.
I talked about Leslie needing to have his motor rev hot and high. The other key player, I think, for NC State is Lorenzo Brown.
And here he is. Tops in the conference in assists and steals, and all the way in, drives it home to tie it at 13.
He has the ability to make plays for himself. He's a tough cover at the point guard spot because of his size. He's a good passer, and he's an active defender when he's engaged. And he really is the catalyst for NC State's transition game.
Now he got beat. Leslie did on that pass down low to O'Brien. There's Jake O'Brien. What a story he is after playing 2.5 years at Boston University and transferring to Temple, taking some graduate work there. And that was just slipping out of the hands of Howell. State lucky to still have it. Leslie into the paint, turn around, beautiful. Ties it at 15, and Leslie has 8 of the Wolfpack's 15.
He's off to a fantastic start.
Wyatt driving in, looked for the whistle, didn't get it.
Nice job to challenge without fouling, and that's exactly what NC State wants to do. That's a big part of its game plan. Wall him off, challenge his shots without sending him to the line.
Down low, they feed the post, and Howell misses the short shot.
Beautifully executed, Jim. He sat down in there. Great pass from Leslie. Everything but the period on that sentence.
Underneath, well done, working that baseline. Hollis-Jefferson for the Owls. State down early in this game. Coming out of that last break. On fire, but called for the charge. Brown. O'Brien with 4 points and a substitute start has Temple up by 2. Let's take a look behind the stats presented by LG. Temple had won 7 straight before losing in the A10 tournament to UMass. Fewest turnovers in the A10. NC State, by the way, 5th in the country in field goal percentage. What happened here?
Well, you've got 2 good offensive teams, Jim, so that means defensively you have to be in your stance at all times. C.J. Leslie was not. He's standing up. He's not broke down. He's not sitting down. And Hollis-Jefferson makes him pay by beating him baseline. You can't relax defensively either way because, again, both of these teams, especially of late, have been pretty good offensively. NC State all season long, one of the nation's best at scoring the ball, 78 points a game.
And all 5 starters averaging at least 12 points. And that's a little too tightly guarded there by T.J. Warren. Head coach Mark Gottfried in his 2nd year at NC State, 2 for 2. Taking the Wolfpack to the NCAA tournament. And there is Fran Dunphy. 6 straight NCAA tournament bids for his Temple program. The great coach. He had been at Penn for 17 years before his 7 years here at Temple. Look at that. That's O'Brien from 3-point land.
Jim, that's a major breakdown. I mean, he's a 43% three-point shooter. You can't ever give him space if you're NC State.
NC State brings in Tyler Lewis at the point, number 12. Leslie backing him in and able to head to the line. Going to be called on O'Brien.
You know, sometimes you'll have a breakdown when you just have made a substitution. That wasn't the case here. Leslie was hugging a guy in the paint, not recognizing that Jake O'Brien was out on the wing. You've got to crowd him and try to run him off that line.
It was the first foul on Temple, again against O'Brien. Watch live games on your computer, iPhone, iPad, and select Android devices with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today as Anthony Lee checks in and grabs that rebound, his first action. Sits the first 9.5.
Tony DeLeo on the floor as well.
As Wyatt hits the runner off the front of the rim.
He's got all the junk in his trunk in terms of change of pace, floaters, runners. Occasionally will spray the deep 3. Really difficult guy to defend, in part because his handle is tight and he's got pretty good strength too, Jim.
Back out high to Leslie. And they'll let the freshman from Statesville, North Carolina, handle it right here. Tyler Lewis. He was a McDonald's All-America. Wood to Howell. Snatches the pass. Fade away. Was trying to say he was hit. Contact. No call.
You know, Howell got hurt in the quarterfinal game in the ACC tournament. Took a knee to the thigh, Jim. And you can tell that he doesn't have quite the lift that he normally does.
There was no explosion on that one.
None.
Nice action down low as Lee hits his first attempt.
Might be time for a timeout for NC State here. Temple getting far too many good looks in this last few minutes.
Leslie denied, and the next one will not be.
C.J. Leslie.
Leslie with 10 of the Wolfpack 17. Scooty Randall snaps it to Lee. He'll take it from the line. And that's pulled away by Leslie. Now Brown all the way in. And a foul call against Temple. It's going to be on DeLeo.
You see Anthony Lee down low, just makes a nice quick move and caught Leslie off guard there. But watch Leslie jam by the backboard, but so quick and explosive to retrieve it and then punch it.
And again, DeLeo with his first. They're going to bring Jake O'Brien right back in. And Lorenzo Brown's first rattles out.
Checking in for the Owls, number 22, Jake O'Brien. And for the Wolfpack, number 24.
O'Brien, that was not very long on the floor for Lee.
Sure wasn't.
Just about a minute of action.
So perhaps Fran Dunphy not pleased with something in Lee's 2-minute segment. Not quite sure what it was, but he did have a few words for Anthony, and we'll see if he gets back here in the next 8.5 minutes.
in traffic and almost lost it, regains it, and scores. Boy, he's good at splitting the defenders, isn't he?
Yeah, he was good, but also lucky on that one.
Well, he's got a steal here. Taking it all the way down and laying it in for 2 more. And it's a 10-point lead, largest of the game.
He just makes plays, Jim. And he's made a number of big shots this season. He's a guy that this team has tremendous confidence in.
And that is Wood. Still looking for the outside shot to go.
And he's actually looking for his first good look, because both shots he's taken have been hurried and challenged.
O'Brien. He's got 2 from out there, and he's got 10 in the game. Timeout called by NC State. A 16-3 stretch by Temple. Water. All work, all play, all new episodes. Men at Work, a brand new season, premieres Tuesday, April 4th at 10/9 Central, only on TBS. Very funny. Well, O'Brien gets the start. He averages 9 a game, and he's already exceeded that with 10.
Well, he's gotten quality looks, Jim, and it's just inexplicable that North Carolina State has not tagged him better, because he's had warm-up jumpers for his shot attempts.
Well, Lee has come back onto the floor for O'Brien.
I guess there, Jim, is just something in terms of maybe missing an assignment. Fran Dunphy reminding him of what it was and gets him right back in.
Howell hits the floor, and it went off of North Carolina State. Temple will have possession out of the next break. 13 points in front. Back here in Dayton, Temple's putting on a shooting clinic. 13 out of 19, 4 out of 6 from 3, and leads it by 13. A lot of that coming from Jake O'Brien, who got the start.
Well, it's been a balanced portfolio of points for the Owls, and Jake O'Brien has been in the middle of it. You saw a layup and a couple of threes. Nobody from North Carolina stayed around him, and that, again, is inexplicable. 43% three-point shooter. You know that's what he likes to do. You've got to make sure you try to run him off the line, and this is something that we've seen with North Carolina State, Jim. The inability to offer a lot of resistance and intensity at the defensive end, and unless they get that changed, and they're trying to change it now with some full court pressure here. Let's see how that impacts Temple.
Well, O'Brien's hit 4 out of 5 from the field, and he's on the bench right now coming out of that break. At the 7-minute mark with Anthony Lee, the usual starter, back on the floor. And Hollis-Jefferson, that spins off the rim. And Lewis, oh, that pass was picked off. DeLeo over to Wyatt, and he scores with Wood trying to get there in time.
Nice job by Tony DeLeo. Deflections sometimes are just as important as steals.
Those of you wanting to see Pacific take on Miami, that is available to you right now on TNT.
Tell you what, Temple's defense has been pretty solid. That's a walk. Rodney Purvis changed the pivot foot there. All Temple. There's the deflection. Actually, it was the deflection and the steal by DeLeo. Nice pass ahead, and Wyatt knows what to do with it. He averages 20 points a game, so he knows how to put it in the bucket. State going to stay in this full court pressure, Jim, trying to energize themselves.
Well, 4 straight trips with turnovers for NC State, and it's an 18-3 stretch for Temple, as the Wolfpack hasn't had any answers so far. That's Randall with a 3. Long rebound. It's back out to Purvis. Purvis in the lane, and he scores. The freshman from Raleigh. As Coach Gottfried hoping he'll come off the bench and give this team a boost. Much needed.
Yeah, he started the first 2/3 of the season, Jim, and then T.J. Warren, the other freshman, came on, and Purvis now has come off the bench. But you're right, Mark Gottfried looking for an injection of offense and a little more energy defensively here. This is where Wyatt is usually pretty good late in the shot clock. Kind of sloppy there.
Well, he's got 3, so he's going to fire it from way outside, and it's Leslie underneath. That was about 5 feet inside the midcourt stripe. Purvis gives it up to Brown. And that pass picked off. DeLeo again, and drives in for 2 more. He's made 2 big defensive plays.
Both of them against freshmen. The senior baiting them into passing where they think a lane is available, and he's pilfered them twice.
Brown back out. O'Brien on him. And Brown's shot falls off the rim.
Great block out, too.
And the whole Temple team down low.
Yep.
Textbook. And that's going to be a hold call outside on Wood.
Baited him and then shot the gap. Beautifully done by DeLeo. And then a nice job to get all the way to the rim as well.
Well, it's an NC State team that at times this year was brilliant, and at other times you couldn't just understand if that was the same team.
Right.
And we're seeing that side of them right now.
Yeah, we're seeing the unproductive side, the lethargic side.
Wyatt short off the glass and pulled down by Howell. And that's going to be on Wyatt. Actually, they're going to call it on Randall. See real stories of human achievement featured on the Buick Human highlight reel at ncaa.com/Buick. So that is the 3rd foul on Temple. That's it. NC State inbounding down 15.
Well, Temple doesn't turn it over much, nor do they foul a lot, Jim. Nice look. Nice little split that time by Howell. Good recognition by Lorenzo Brown. And we talked about how up and down North Carolina State has been in its performance. This is a very talented and explosive team. But they've got to regroup defensively here to try to get things turned around so they can get some open court opportunities.
Hollis-Jefferson, jumper. And that is Howell. He's quite a rebounder. And Purvis, he's got Wyatt on him. State unable to really put together any kind of run in this first half. As Purvis steps inside the three-point line, misses the two-point jumper.
In your Temple, it's nice to have three pretty comfortable, actually four really comfortable ball handlers. Hollis-Jefferson is capable away from the goal, as is Randall, and we know about Khalif Wyatt.
Wyatt feeds the corner. Randall. Hollis-Jefferson takes the outside shot, feeds the corner, and that shot from three, no. Snap back out to Brown. Brown has it swatted outside, but Wood with the three. Oh, that is his shot.
And he rushed it, Jim. Rushed it just a bit. It's a poorly handled break by Brown there as he got himself up in the air with nowhere to go. With so few transition opportunities for NC State, you've got to be ready to capitalize on the ones that show up.
Hollis-Jefferson outside O'Brien. He's hit two, not this time. Two from out there, but NC State driving again. Brown to Leslie. Wrap around, too much on it for Howell to handle it. Another turnover. Sloppy start for State. Temple up 13. All right, Greg, of course, the West last night lost its #3 seed, New Mexico.
That's right.
Knocked out by Harvard. Coach Tommy Amaker.
What a win. They went wire to wire, Jim. A terrific effort by the Crimson. Handled the ball. The quickness advantage they had across a couple of matchups. Really the difference, particularly along the front line.
Now the 5 is in trouble out west with Wisconsin. Down low. What a block. That was Warren. But stolen right back by Wyatt.
The 9th turnover for North Carolina State. They've been sloppy with the ball and inattentive at the defensive end. To make a little surge here before halftime, they've got to correct those.
And that's going to be the 4th foul on Temple and the 2nd on Randall. Coming up on AT&T at the half, we're going to get you caught up on all the latest tournament news and highlights and updates. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Duke, it's a little closer for the Blue Devils than many might have thought, but they're going to advance. And, of course, at halftime, you'll be getting another update on Wisconsin and Mississippi. DeLeo is back in for Temple. He's made a couple of fine defensive plays. That's short. And they say that's off the knee of Howell.
Well, he made a terrific effort to come up with that. Didn't squeeze it, and I thought it may have gone off a Temple player here. Tough move. Actually, a foul there that wasn't called as Leslie was bumped. And Howell, the last to touch it, according to the official. Been a very efficient half for Temple here, Jim.
No question.
Low turnovers, 1 turnover for the Owls.
Well, the Owls shared the Big 5 title this year, and that big battle goes on every year in the great city of Philadelphia. And they find open Hollis-Jefferson, and no contact, they say. Purvis driving in, and that's going against Purvis. And another sage play by DeLeo.
Yeah, his guile has really flummoxed the freshman. He's gotten Purvis twice. That time he took the charge. The other time he got a steal, and he also took one away from Tyler Lewis. DeLeo having a very productive stint here in this first half.
Goes in the books as a 10th turnover against NC State.
Yep.
Temple sharing that Big 5 title with LaSalle, which was the last team to win on this floor. That was on Wednesday night.
And don't be fooled. You know that motivated this team as well, seeing their compatriots from Philadelphia put together a splendid performance in knocking off Boise State.
O'Brien with 20 seconds to go in the half, and Temple ups the lead to 16. Those first points scored on either side in over 3.5 minutes. And now inside 10 to go. And what has been a one-sided half. 2 seconds. Brown better hurry. Gets it away in time, but it's well wide of the mark. Well defended by Temple. Temple shoots 53% and turned it over only 3 times. Let's go over to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks a lot. I'm here with head coach Fran Duffy. And Fran, you've gotten it done on both ends of the court, but defensively, what have you been most proud of?
You know what, Trace, we left a couple baseline layups open, but I was pleased with that in terms of not giving up too many threes out there. So we left a little something to be desired, but they threw a couple balls away, which I don't think they'll do in the second half. So we need to play as good a defense in the second half.
Never satisfied. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Jim?
Fran Dumphy and his team really ready for this occasion. Up 16 at halftime, 38-22. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take a few moments to familiarize yourself with the location of the exits in your area, remembering that your closest exit might not be where you enter, but could be behind or to the side of you. In the unlikely event that the facility needs to be evacuated, please proceed to the nearest exit or follow the instructions of the arena staff members. Once outside, move away from the building, proceeding to your car or to a safe area as instructed by arena staff. Thank you for your cooperation.
NCAA salutes its more than 400,000 student athletes participating in 23 sports and 89 national championships. For more information about those championships, go to ncaa.com. Want to take home a piece of the historic 75th NCAA championship? Pick up your official NCAA championship program at the NCAA team shops located throughout the arena. Enter to win tickets to the 2014 NCAA Men's Final Four at Cowboys Stadium in North Texas. 3 lucky fans will be selected to receive a pair of game tickets. Enter to win now from your mobile phone at ncaa.com/WINMFF. Experience it live and celebrate 75 years of March Madness and the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Regionals via VIP with the NCAA Experience. Packages are available and can include game tickets, pre-game VIP hospitality access, hotels, and much more. Visit ncaa.com/hospitality to secure your VIP package today. The ultimate experience for the ultimate fan. Inside access to March Madness online. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and don't forget to check in on Foursquare.
Visit NCAA.com/NBA tickets.
Back here in Dayton, let's take a look at the first half stats presented by Coke Zero. And they all are tilted to the Temple side of the ledger here.
Very efficient, did a terrific job executing in the half court and then turning turnovers into points, Jim.
Jake O'Brien, a big story for them. 13 points as a starter here, 4 rebounds. Wyatt also in double digits.
There's Jake O'Brien. He knocked down 3 of 5 from behind the arc, and the kind of room and space he had, again, just inexcusable. Points off turnovers, 15-2. Here's Khalif Wyatt getting 2 of his 10. Actually 2 of his 11, and then Tony DeLeo had a very strong 8 minutes. 2 points and 2 boards and 2 steals.
Tracy, what did NC State have to say?
Well, exactly what you guys were talking about. Mike Gottfried's so frustrated with the turnovers. He said, we need to handle the ball better. He said, we've not been playing strong defense and we've been out of position too much. But number one thing, take care of the basketball in the second half, guys.
Well, State did not even score the last 4 minutes and 5 seconds of the first half, missing all 4 shots, turning it over 3 times, 3 of their 10 overall.
Well, Jim, unless the attitude and the energy changes, we're going to see a repeat in the second half. NC State has to bring some urgency at the defensive end to try to disrupt things at that end, and there's a wide open shot for Wyatt, and he just misses it, but no rebound. And then offensively, as Tracy said, they've got to take care of the ball.
Now Cummings into the paint, and he's fouled. And how about Ole Miss makes that run through the SEC tournament? Everybody's saying how weak the SEC is. Beats a Wisconsin team that a lot of people thought might be the surprise team out west. That West bracket, which I thought was by far the weakest going in, has now lost the 3 and the 5 in the first game.
Couple of things, Jim. One, you wear the banner of your team and you belong to a conference. Conference affiliation or the strength or weakness of a conference does nothing for you in this 94 by 50-foot box come tournament time. It doesn't. It's about matchups. Mississippi and Wisconsin did not see the game, but obviously struggled to shoot. That's happened to Wisconsin a handful of times this year. When they don't make shots, they can look bad and get beat by anybody.
Well, you start talking conferences when you start talking about number of bids, as that is taken away from Leslie. The ACC with 4. One of them playing here right now. Not looking so good. Randall from the corner. But then again, you got the Mountain West, which had 3 knocked off yesterday out of their 5.
Yeah. Matchups as you look at Khalif Wyatt picking up the foul.
Just his first.
Team's first.
But Wisconsin, we'd seen them last week at the Big Ten tournament. Some thought perhaps they would meet up with Ohio State again in that West bracket, but they're gone. So now you got Gonzaga at the 1, Ohio State at the 2, New Mexico the 3 is gone. Kansas State is coming up against LaSalle. And now the 5, Wisconsin is out. So.
Well, Jim, on Sunday you talked about how the bracket looked like it could very well be one where teams outside of the top 4 seeds advanced out of there. And that's exactly the way it's kind of playing out, at least right now.
Howell in the paint, lost it on the dribble. Scrambles for it on the floor, and that's a nice pass from Leslie to set up Warren.
See, that's the kind of grit that has to be displayed by NC State.
Need a whole lot more of that.
Yeah, a bunch of it. Buckets full of it. And really, when you're thinking about a one-and-done situation, as Wyatt gets a wide-open 15-footer, you've got to bring that kind of urgency from the start. NC State now fighting an uphill battle
against a team that's tough to come back against.
That's exactly right, Jim.
And Howell, there's some aggression. Offensive glass and basket.
You know, Jim, sometimes in this game, you have to play angry. It's fine to try to control yourself and be composed, but at some point, cool has to disappear if you're trying to advance. I mean, you've got to get some sandpaper in your jersey.
Wyatt, beautiful spin move, and he's got 2 more, and he's in double figures, by the way, already for the 19th consecutive game.
Now that kid there, Wyatt, has sandpaper, savvy, confidence. He thinks he's the best player on the floor all the time, no matter who else is out there. That's how he plays. And you love that about him because he's got enough in his package to produce as though he's the best player on the court most times.
Hollis-Jefferson to the baseline to O'Brien, and he's adding to his total. O'Brien up to 15 for the game.
We got to be approaching season career high numbers for O'Brien,
who played 2.5 years at Boston University. Did not play last year. There's a dunk for Warren.
TJ Warren.
Beautiful bounce pass, good cut, but you can't trade baskets when you're minus 16. At some point, you got to string together some stops. Man-to-man D actually looks like a zone here by NC State.
And Wyatt ran into 2 Wolfpack players, lost the ball.
And he did something to his wrist or his finger. He's looking to try to come out. Khalif Wyatt is hurt.
Yeah, he's signaling. He's in pain as Brown scored at the other end. And Wyatt.
Maybe a finger. Wow, he looks like he's holding that.
His non-shooting hand.
Let's see. 3 guys around him. Hard to tell exactly what happened other than he got tangled up.
DeLeo in for him.
Again, DeLeo in his 8 minutes really made a nice contribution for Temple. It's been that way all season long, though. Doing a lot of the little things, taking advantage of his opportunities, and again, wide open. How does he get so wide open, Jim? How is the best three-point shooter for the opposing team shooting warm-up jumpers all day long?
He's had 4 of those already. 4 out of 6 from 3 for O'Brien. Leslie wanted to take it to the holes. And he's got the foul on O'Brien. His second, but O'Brien is the story at the other end. 18 points, 4 made from behind the arc. to a huge start there after a spectacular regular season and ACC tournament as well. And look at what Temple is doing.
Well, I'm going to circle the balls here. Two defenders from North Carolina State going to attack the ball. And then O'Brien just going to avail himself to the three-point line. No communication, no rotation. And with number 22 in black, if you're North Carolina State, I know it was talked about in the scouting report. This guy is a laser from the three-point line. We need to tag him, and they just haven't done it.
The first one's good by Leslie. So a 12/5, the first Big Ten team to exit the tournament, Wisconsin. And here, historic University of Dayton Arena this weekend will be up to its 100 and 101st all-time NCAA tournament games right here.
Terrific venue, and the folks here do a fantastic job, Jim. And hosting the first four, they've made it a bit of a festival. It's more than just the games. There's all types of activities throughout the community, giving the student athletes and their fans an opportunity to have an experience, a memorable experience.
What a hot ticket it is, too, with Ohio State here. Indiana's going to be on the floor next. Notre Dame, all in close proximity. Here's Hollis-Jefferson. That was before the shot clock went off. Up ahead. Flying down the lane for two is Brown.
See, that's what can happen when you defend and rebound and get out. You can get some easy scoring opportunities, which is really the strength of North Carolina State's team. But as I've said multiple times, they've got to get it started at this end. Somehow disrupt the comfort level of Temple.
And that's Cummings, who lost it on the way up, and State got a hand in there. Brown, after having just zipped down the floor the last time, will come back out with it.
Well, I thought he had Scott Wood if he'd have seen him to the left in transition for maybe a good look at the three. But this is a good decision. If you don't have it quick, then try to throw it inside.
And that's on Cummings. And State does need to get Wood into this game, as Wyatt, after a short extra bit of rest, is back on the floor with his 15 points.
I think they're going to get a foul called on Tony DeLeo.
His second.
That's his second.
Actually, TJ Tony is his dad, who I saw at the hotel, so I got my wires crossed there. But TJ guilty of the foul.
So Leslie looking like he wants to challenge Hollis-Jefferson. Dishes at the end, and Howell able to pay it off.
Yeah, I like that, Jim. Again, it has to happen at the defensive end. Try to get some quick hits, but if not, I think NC State plays through Leslie with his quickness at the foul line area, and he gets a shot for himself or one for his teammate.
And there's an extra intensity as Warren takes it away from O'Brien. Has a man open for the easy two. Brown. And that's an 11-3 stretch for North Carolina State.
All because of the increased intensity defensively, Jim.
O'Brien. So Wyatt lobs it up and pulled down by Warren. What a unique shot that was.
Almost went down, too.
Brown soaring, gives it up, and Howell has two more.
This is where they're lethal, Jim, in transition. They've got playmakers, and they've got a little bit more swagger.
Timeout Temple. First time in single digits since 8:20 was left in the first half.
Not long ago, Temple was up 18, but thanks to excellent defense, T.J. Warren harassing O'Brien. This turnover leads for an opportunity for Lorenzo Brown to find Richard Howell, but in transition off of good defense is how North Carolina State has been able to put together a 13-3 run over the last couple of minutes. It's been 9-0 since the 15:45 mark of this half.
Mark Gottfried, saw a glimpse of him. 2 years, 2 NCAA tournaments, taken over for Sidney Lowe. They had not gone to the tournament the last 5 years under Lowe, and then Gottfried trying to restore the glory there with the Wolfpack and getting all the old Letterman, everyone, managers, anyone associated with the program, getting them back involved.
There's tremendous power in that, Jim, when you have excellent tradition. And that's what Mark has tried to rekindle.
Here's Wyatt. Tough shot. Back of the rim and tap back out to him.
Scooty Randall. Offensive rebound, extra possession.
Randall, as the Wolfpack still going after it hard defensively. It's going to be on Warren. We got an update on Khalif. What's the word there?
Well, it seems like he's still trying to get comfortable with that left hand. He hurt that left thumb under that basket when he got tangled up. They wrapped it up. He doesn't use that hand to shoot, but he does use it to dribble, and he's just trying to get more comfortable playing with it, guys.
Now here he is driving in and hitting the floater.
Basket by Khalif Wyatt.
First field goal by Temple in almost 4 minutes, and at the other end and one for Leslie.
Beautiful pass ahead that time by North Carolina State, and Leslie's such a good runner, able to get behind the defense and convert.
So Warren gets some acknowledgement from the bench for his hustle at the defensive end. And Leslie.
Not a very good free throw shooter, Jim, nor is this team. Only 68%. Leslie is only 62%. And when you're trying to come back, you need to be able to cash in at the line some.
To the corner. DeLeo goes back out high. Wyatt. Dribbling with that left hand, and he is shoved. Hit by Brown. His second, and we got a break in the action. 8-point game now in Dayton. Celebrate 75 years of March Madness by voting for your all-time players, teams, and moments of the NCAA tournament. Vote now, ncaa.com/March Madness. One moment, of course, many will vote for is the Wolfpack Championship 30 years ago. The cardiac Wolfpack bunch that would come from behind in so many games. And you saw Coach Gottfried, who spent a couple of years out of coaching, working as a broadcaster, which he said really helped him become a better head coach. He had taken in his past Murray State and Alabama to NCAA tournaments. Here's Wyatt. And that one plucked out of the air by Purvis.
Well, you think back to Mark Godfrey being behind the microphone, how that gives a coach an opportunity to see a lot of different teams, visit with different coaches, get the practices. So no surprise that he feels like that's helped him in his time at NC State now.
Wood is 0 for 4 now for the game, has not scored.
Well, Temple's
Go ahead.
Temple's done a good job on him, Jim. They have not given him any really clean looks. Of his 4 attempts, I don't think any have been clean looks for him.
NC State's only 1 out of 8 from 3. And he is quite a marksman, but not so far today. You're right, not getting good looks. A player who has been in uniform for more NC State games than any player in history. Down low, Hollis-Jefferson with a player on his back, and Howell is going to be whistled for it. Count the basket.
Well, I thought Hollis-Jefferson had dribbled himself out of a good shot. Good find by Khalif Wyatt. You see that rhythm bounce, but he kept his body between Howell and the ball. Not a lot of contact there, just a little bit of a hip bump, as you saw Howell asking the official about it, and that's what it was, just enough to warrant the whistle.
Lee, who has seen limited action, is back in. Again, suffering concussion-like symptoms as that rebound ends up in the hands of Randall. Here's Lee.
Second time, he's given his team an extra possession just by outworking the North Carolina State players to the ball.
By the way, Cincinnati and Creighton. The winner will play Duke on Sunday. That's just getting underway in Philadelphia, and it's on CBS, available for you now. And again, if you're just joining us, Lee not getting the start after these headaches and being cleared by doctors, missing some practice time. He's calling for it down low.
He had Howell on his back, but Randall decided he wants to take advantage of a matchup with the freshman Rodney Purvis, and he'll get himself to the line as a result.
Yeah, you got Purvis to commit. And second on Purvis, who's made a few mistakes in this game.
Yeah, it's been a little tough for the first-year player, leaving his feet. Anytime you do that defensively, you're at the mercy of the offensive player there.
And there is Wood from neighboring Indiana, Marion, Indiana. Again, held scoreless to this point. First one good for Randall. Follow tournament scores, stats, and news live on the CBS Sports app. Get it free by texting SCORE to 42777 or by visiting cbssports.com/mobile from your phone or tablet. And Scooty, 1 of 2, and swatted out of bounds, almost chased down by Rahlir Hollis-Jefferson. So the NC State momentum, they were in the middle of a fury, and can they get that going again? Can they get that excitement and energy rekindled?
But at some point, Jim, you only have so many runs you can make because that clock starts to work against you. Temple showing the zone here. NC State with Scott Wood out of the game, doesn't have really a big-time three-point shooter on the floor, so a good move by Fran Dunphy to pack it in with the zone and try to make NC State beat them from the perimeter.
Howell reaches in following State's 12th turnover.
There you see Scott Wood, the designated marksman from behind the three-point line for NC State. Had a tough go of it so far today.
Hollis-Jefferson.
Rahlir Hollis-Jefferson.
Out of Chester, Pennsylvania, hits the shot. No look pass. Howell lays it in for 2.
They're good when they're playing fast, aren't they? North Carolina State, boy, they can get it down the court in a hurry. And Lorenzo Brown with a nice find. But again, got to go back to what we've harped on. Where is the defensive intensity? Because that's what it's going to take. We saw spurts of it here in the first 10 minutes of this half, but it has to be sustained. Multiple possessions for NC State.
Here comes Wood after a short break. In for Howell, who has another double-double. He's got the most double-doubles in the season since back in the Tom Burleson days. He's the first 1,000-point man, 1,000-rebounder since Burleson, the center on that 74 NC State championship team. 12 and 11 today.
And that's his 18th double-double, partner.
Ooh.
So you can pretty much mark it up when he plays and he's healthy.
Wyatt dumps it down low. Lee might have gotten away with a little shove in the back of Lee. And now that pass, way too much on it. And another North Carolina State giveaway.
And they've really kind of turned it, shut it off here in the second half as far as the turnovers, Jim.
Except these last two possessions.
Yeah, right. And when you're trying to come back, 13 for the game, only 11 since, 13 for the game, only 3 since halftime.
Wyatt to Leo. Now with 5 to shoot. Wyatt over Brown. Tough shot.
Really was.
And that's a reach in on Hollis-Jefferson.
Just the 6th team foul on Temple. Both teams with 16 fouls, Jim. So we'll be shooting free throws on the next common ones.
That's 16 fouls now on Temple. As you say. And driving to the basket for 2 is Brown. Gets it back to single digits here, Clark.
Yep, they're still within striking distance, Jim. It'd be helpful if they could find Scott Wood for a 3 at some point. But forcing tough shots at this end for Temple is really the biggest part of the recipe for trying to come back.
And that's going to be Purvis reaching in. But 7:47 to go. It had been 18. here in Dayton. The score is 54-45. Temple +9 heading to the line for a 1-1 with Khalif Wyatt. Who earlier tied the single season Temple record, most free throws made in a season. And breaks it right there, breaks the Lear record. Coverage of the 2013 NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. So back up to 11.
And Jim, as we go down the stretch here, Wyatt is an excellent free throw shooter. You know the ball will be in his hands just about every time for Temple. And that'll make it even more difficult to come back if you don't get turnovers if you're North Carolina State.
Well, Warren unable to hit the baseliner, tapped around back to Temple. And Howell will be checking in on the next whistle for NC State.
No rush for Temple here. They're very content to be deliberate and play through Wyatt.
It's going to be called on Warren away from the ball. And it'll be a 1-1.
His third, team's 8. Richard Howell.
So here comes Howell.
Checks in for C.J. Leslie for the Wolfpack.
Number 5 in the nation in rebounding is Howell. We've seen glimpses of reasons why that is true today. Number 1 in the ACC in rebounding. But Temple hitting the free throws. One more to come. They hit all 4 coming out of the break.
Well, this is where, if you're North Carolina State, you'd love to be able to shake Scott Wood free for a 3. He's being defended by T.J. DeLeo, who's really making sure he's with him on the catch.
Brown gives it up. Purvis. Slap down, picked up. Howell fighting for it. And that's why Coach K, like a lot of coaches around that conference, call him a beast on the boards.
Not only did he come up with the rebound, but made a big-time move to get that shot off.
14 points, 10 coming in this half.
Got to be able to defend without fouling if you're NC State. Easier said than done. Late in the shot clock. A couple of guys can make plays for Temple. Hollis-Jefferson is one of them. Wyatt another.
DeLeo to Lee. And with 2 on the shot clock, the foul is committed by Wood.
Well, that was excellent basketball late in the clock. The Temple players continued to move. The ball moved. Nice job by T.J. DeLeo. Although Scott Wood got an awful lot of the ball there. But free throws nonetheless.
One of 2, but just 6 minutes to play. Temple up a dozen.
Around, he got bumped though. I thought he got pushed.
I did too. Arrow will go to State. It'll stay with State. There was definite contact, and if there wasn't contact, then it was a travel.
Yeah, I think he got pushed. He got rolled. There it is. Where we saw the tail end of it. Khalif Wyatt shoved him a little bit with the left hand. I thought Lee got all ball on the second part of that play.
And it's going to be a call against Temple again. Setting up a 1-1 at the line. Lee called for that one. Fran Dunphy. Boy, is he know Philadelphia basketball maybe as well as anyone. You think of the ties there to the Big Five. A LaSalle graduate back in 1970. Here comes O'Brien back onto the floor for Lee. Again, Dunphy out of LaSalle, on the pin for 17 years, 9 NCAA tournaments, takes the Quakers, and now 6 straight NCAA tournaments. for Temple. 1-1 for Wood, and he has his first point of the game.
Jim, sometimes that's all it takes for a guy who shoots it like he does, who's struggled to this point, to get to the line, knock a pair down, see it go through the bottom of the net. Let's see what happens from here as you see C.J. Leslie returning to action for Rodney Purvis. Time is getting short. It has to be started with the defense from North Carolina State. If you're Temple, you want to walk this one home by taking care of the ball and knocking down foul shots.
The winner of this one to play the winner of Indiana, James Madison, next on the floor here in Dayton. Temple's gone 4.5 without a field goal, but been hitting some free throws. Wyatt, tough shot off balance, pulled down by Howell.
Oh, he got fouled. No whistle. Nice drive by Round. Beautifully done.
Boy, he faked in each direction to pass, didn't he? That was smooth.
Wyatt has to be careful here, Jim. He tends to sometimes take some difficult shots looking to draw the foul, and that can lead to opportunities at the other end for NC State.
Third time in the half. State's cut it to 8. Here's Wyatt with a 3. Oh, what a big one that one is. Step back 3 by Wyatt. Brown in a hurry. Finds Wood. Pinned in the corner.
They're just not giving him any space, Jim.
They're all over him. Suffocating defense. And now, got to restart the urgency as Leslie takes it into the paint, lost the handle. 3 on the shot clock. Takes the 3, and he answers back. Oh, that was one that keeps him in the game. C.J. Leslie at 62-54, just inside 4 to go. And that's going to be a shove call against Brown. NC State trying to fight back, shooting 70% in the second half.
Still not enough to get him all the way back. Big bucket here. Khalif Wyatt, step back 3. And then C.J. Leslie trying to go one better. NC State still in it.
Muse with Madness. And that's what we saw yesterday. No doubt more on the way today. Here it's an 8-point lead for Temple, even though the Wolfpack shooting 55% for the game.
Big difference there, Jim, though. +5 in 3-point field goals made. Also the turnover differential. Those are the big reasons that despite shooting a good percentage, NC State is still down.
Double bonus now the rest of the way for the Owls. Now we'll put Hollis-Jefferson at the line.
It always frees up a free throw shooter that's not a really good one when you've got two coming.
Let's bring in Tracy Wolfson.
Well, guys, during that last timeout, Mark Gottfried reminded his players what he told them during the last timeout. He said, be aggressive defensively, but don't foul, reminding them that they're in a one-on-one. Then he looked at C.J. Leslie. He said, there is plenty of time. Don't be in a hurry. Take your shot, guys.
All right, thank you, Tracy. They get a break there, 2 missed free throws. And now Wood with the 3, and he's got it, just as you said, Clark. He hits those free throws, sees the ball going through the net, and he finally connects from the field. And it's down to 5, closest it's been in a long time. And they're going to send Wyatt to the line, though, for 2 in the double bonus.
One of his cleanest looks of the day, and he makes Temple pay. Scott Wood. Got a little brush screen there. Pass was on time and on target, and he sprayed it. But then they come down and commit a quick foul and send the best free throw shooter on the floor for Temple to the line. Get a break, though, as he misses.
One thing to remember, the foul was on Lorenzo Brown, and that gives him 4 now. Temple 7 out of 16 from the line. And DeLeo in for Cummings.
Lorenzo Brown has had a solid floor game, Jim. 16.7 assists. He's got 4 rebounds. His ability to penetrate is something you have as an option here. I like going to C.J. Leslie maybe in the middle of the ball. They're looking at Scott Wood again. There he goes.
Oh, Wood firing him right back into this game, and it's a 3-point difference. It had been 18. They were all over him on that one. That was some shot. As Wyatt drives in, and he's heading back to the line. Back-to-back threes by Wood after a pair of free throws.
Well, DeLeo in pretty good position, but when a shooter like him gets it going, and he has after 2 free throws and a prior 3, he can make the tough ones now.
He's hit a pair of threes in the last 25 seconds. And who can believe that it's a 1-possession game with Wyatt at the line, and he'll shoot another one. Now 2-possession game, 2:54 to go.
Well, this Temple team has been in a number of close games all season, Jim. They've won their fair share of them. And with Wyatt's ability to make tough shots and draw fouls and get to the line, expect Temple to play through him the rest of the way.
Howell fakes the pass down low.
Don't have to settle for threes. They were trying to get Scott Wood open, and TJ DeLeo committed the foul.
It will send Wood with the hot hand to the line for a 1-and-1.
And he's a 92% free throw shooter on the season, 89 from the line for his career.
Again, State's all-time leader in threes, played in more games than any Wolfpack player, and he misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
Wow.
92%.
Well, even at that number, Jim, it means you miss 8 out of 100. That was one of the misses there.
After making 2 tough threes, fails to make the free and earn another one. Timeout called by Temple. Coming out of a Temple timeout, the Owls have 2 remaining. They'll be shooting 2 the rest of the way. Big first half for O'Brien, not so much so here in the second half.
Well, NC State made an adjustment a little late because he lit them up in that first half, but they've tagged him much better here in the second half.
Yeah, he had 5 in the early minutes of the second half, giving him 18 for the game. White will do all he can to earn another trip to the line. Tries to shoot it through the net. And it's going back the other way.
There's a case of Wyatt looking to try to draw the foul and taking a very difficult shot. Doesn't get bailed out with the whistle. And Jake O'Brien, in his effort to get to the offensive rebound, commits the foul. A little contact there by C.J. Leslie, but a good no-call play on.
3rd on O'Brien, 1 and 1. And 1 of 5 from the line today. Leslie, but gets this one. How do you figure? 1 out of 5 makes, 92% miss. And it's crazy.
It is.
And now to get it back down to a 1-score game. Got it with 2:18 to play.
I think Temple has to look to attack here. Don't settle for trying to milk the clock and then force something late from the perimeter. Get your movement and your continuity going and try to attack. NC State is in the penalty too.
Both teams will be shooting 2 the rest of the way. As Wyatt gives it up. Hollis-Jefferson, no. Bounced around the rim, picked up by State, by Leslie.
No rush here. Whatever's in your playbook, that's a good look. Doesn't have to be a 3. They're trying to free Scott Wood. There you go.
Gets
Nicely
it to
done.
Howell. And Brown can tie it. And no, it's off the rim and a foul call.
Well, I like the action. Howell just wasn't in position on the roll, Jim, to catch it for a score. He was off balance. See, he should be trying to go to the basket, and his footwork was poor. And he actually had to pass it out. It ended up being a good look for Lorenzo Brown from behind the arc, but Howell may have had a layup had he been able to catch that ball rolling to the hoop.
And a 3rd foul call on Leslie. 2 at the line.
Well, we've had quite a few missed freebies both ways the last few attempts.
Hollis-Jefferson with 1 more. And it's back up to 4. Timeout. Wolfpack.
Timeout.
1:26 to go. Temple 66-62. Temple and NC State, the winner to play the winner of the Indiana James Madison game, which will be the next one up here in Dayton. And coming out of an NC State timeout here, Clark Kellogg.
Well, you've got to be thinking about plenty of time here. It's a 2-possession game. Scott Wood has knocked down a couple of threes and 2 free throws, so he's had 8 big points here late. You always want to make him an option because it puts pressure on the defense, but I think you've got to try to go inside to Howell or maybe C.J. Leslie down on the block or at the top of the lane where he can drive it possibly.
Trying to find Wood. There he is with the 3. Slides off the rim, and it's picked up by Scooty Randall.
And Wood thought he got fouled. Pretty good defense. I'm not sure if I'd only want a high-quality look for Wood in that possession. I would much rather see you try to take that ball off the dribble inside with the time left on the clock and only being down 4.
Third foul on Wood. 2 at the line coming up for DeLeo.
His third.
DeLeo shot 25 free throws on the season, made 15, 60%. He's the son of the Philadelphia 76ers general manager, Tony
Yep.
DeLeo. Graduated in the fall semester, and one more coming up.
Big free throw there. Still a 2-possession game. That's the most it'll be, even if he makes this one.
And the senior got them both.
Doesn't have to be a 3 here, Jim. It just needs to be a good, quick look.
Oh, Wyatt almost made the steal. Leslie trying to back him in and works it hard for 2.
I think that's the way they should have operated the last possession, Jim. I really do. They still
Timeout
got
Wolfpack.
life.
Timeout Wolfpack at 68. 64, 43 to go. Yeah,
He's mid-60s.
He struggled in his. Mark Godfrey down to 1 timeout. State trying to fight all the way from 18 down. Meanwhile, Coach Fran Dunphy, Coach Dunphy, and the Temple Owls. Last one in this tournament, actually 2 years ago, with a win against Penn State. Hollis-Jefferson looking for help. It's back into the hands of Wyatt. Under 40 to play.
Boy, they need to foul. They got a foul. They're trying to force a turnover, let a lot of time elapse there. I could understand a couple of seconds to try to come up with the turnover, but after that, clock's too short. You need the foul right away.
That was 11 seconds coming out of the break.
Yeah.
And that was the 4th foul on Leslie. Khalif Wyatt to shoot 2.
Wyatt in some pain with that left thumb that he injured earlier. He's got it wrapped now, but shouldn't have an effect on his right hand, knocking down these free throws.
Temple has scored its last 7 points at the line. And Wyatt pure on them both. Cummings in for Wyatt.
So here, if you're Temple, you just want to play good, solid defense, no foul. Talk, communicate, rotate, make NC State take a tough shot. And NC State looking for a 3. Wow.
Cummings with the body.
That's the last thing you want to do there. I mean, I know he didn't try to commit the foul, but you want to not give any chance for the official to blow the whistle there.
Shooting 2.
And Wyatt's coming back in, and that brief break, he was grimacing the whole time and continues to shake that left hand, that left thumb. As, again, they are 24 seconds away from trying to lock up a Sunday appearance, and what a story that'll be. Trying to get him ready to go for another game if they need to.
Rodney Purvis replacing Lorenzo Brown. And you wonder about Khalif Wyatt being able to catch the ball cleanly against this pressure.
Up ahead, breaking for it, Scooty Randall, and it's blocked, and they say there was contact.
Wow.
Wow, Warren looked like he had made a clean play.
Really close. Good play by Hollis-Jefferson to get it out in front of Randall. Whoa, that looks pretty clean from here.
That even looks cleaner. And there was a Wolfpack player there to grab it. It was Howell. No, it was Howell there. It would have been NC State racing down to the other end.
That's who it was. Some incidental lower body contact, but in that kind of situation, that's a clean block.
Lorenzo Brown in for
Brown for Purvis.
For North Carolina State.
Randall will one more. 5-point game.
It doesn't have to be the three. It's got to be something quick and good.
To Wood inside, and a foul call on Temple. Called on Randall. Number 3. So now 2 at the line for Wood.
His third. Scott Wood.
As you said, it did not have to be a 3, and Wood can hit them both. Got a 1-possession game with 17 seconds.
And the clock stopped, which is an added bonus when you're trying to come back. That worked out about as well as it could have for NC State.
And right back in Purvis for Brown. As Brown, they have to be careful. He's got the 4 fouls.
Well, you need to force a turnover. If not, quick foul. Then you're going to need some misses to get all the way back if you're NC State.
Oh, that's going to go against State. It's going to go against Purvis. They say he did not have position.
Wolfpack foul number 0.
Again, not much time off the clock, just a little more than a second.
Boy, that was very close. Extremely close. Let's look. He was leaning in, got up under him, Jim. Wasn't quite in legal guarding position. Got up under him.
Wyatt today, 8 out of 10 at the line. 2 coming up. And he walks it in. Lorenzo Brown, offense, defense coming back, trying to, again, protect them from that 5th foul. 28 points for Wyatt. Make it 29.
It's a good feeling when you've got a guy like him at the foul line late in games.
As Brown drives in, they give him the lane, and he's got 2 with 10 seconds to go. And the game is down to 3. Timeout. NC State taking its final timeout. Jim Nance, Clark Kellogg, Tracy Wolfson back here in Dayton with 10 seconds to go. NC State is out of timeouts. Temple to inbound. And what are you going to do here if you're the Wolfpack?
Well, you've got to pressure and try to force a turnover or a mistake. And then if the ball gets inbounded to Temple, you got to foul right away. And then you hope for misses. That's really all you have left if you can't get a turnover. Temple just wants to execute solid screens. Don't commit a turnover here. Be careful when you set the screen that you don't set an illegal one.
Purvis number 0 back in the game for North Carolina State.
Try to get the ball in the hands of the guy you see there, Khalif Wyatt.
With 17.5 minutes to go, it was 44-26. Now we have 10.1 seconds remaining. Into Randall.
Oh, you got to foul right away.
Hollis-Jefferson, get in on him if you're going to try to foul him. And Leslie, he didn't want to commit the foul because that's it for him. That's why he was hesitant.
Number 5, C.J. Leslie, his 5th.
But I mean, at that point, it's about time on the clock.
Yeah. But he was looking around like, hey, somebody else do that.
Right, but you don't have time for that. Solid day for C.J. Leslie, but it may be
Rahlir Hollis-Jefferson shooting 2.
in a loss if Jefferson can knock down one of these free throws.
3 out of 7 for the game, and now 3 out of 8. And again, NC State no timeouts.
Tell you what, if he misses this one, Jim, be hard to do, but I would foul if you're Temple.
You know the Wolfpack will be looking for Wood. Well, that's a big one. 6 seconds and a 4-point lead. Brown puts it up. Got it with 2 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, the officials come over and say, hold it, change it to a 2. They change it to a 2.
They'll take a look, though, to make sure that's the correct call. You can check the monitor to determine whether a shot that's been made is a 2 or a 3, and that's exactly what they're going to look at. And we'll take a look at it prior to that, and clearly he's all over the line. That's a deuce. Yep, that is a deuce. The fans here moan because they saw it in the arena. It shouldn't take much time.
I'll tell you, because they had to jump in immediately and go review 2 versus a 3, NC State's out of timeouts.
Little break.
Give them a little chance to at least set up defensively. As Lorenzo Brown, there you can see, toe on the line.
I'm not sure what the consternation or the delay is here. I mean, maybe they just haven't seen it yet. Because as soon as they see it, it should be.
Also might be wanting to check the clock.
Yeah, good point. That's exactly right, Jim. You're right. That's exactly what it is. That's the other part of the equation.
Well, they've actually put it up to 2.2.
Yep, that's
so they
what
did
were
add
doing.
time.
That's what they were doing, partner. They're all over it.
All right, no timeouts again for NC State. 2-point lead, Temple to inbound. What are they going to do here?
Just be strong and secure with it.
And a foul
Rodney
call.
Purvis.
Wolfpack foul number 0, Rodney Purvis.
It's not the worst thing in the world for NC State, although it's not the guy you want to send to the line. It didn't take any time off the clock. And they're going to bring in Tyler Lewis as Purvis has fouled out. The second Wolfpack player to foul out.
Rodney Purvis from North Carolina State.
So Wyatt to the line makes them both game over, basically.
Shooting 2.
1 out of 2, and NC State can have a shot at it. All net. Got a 30-point game. 31 would be a clincher. Vandenberg was looking at checking in. He's back to the bench. They'll let Brown just launch it. This game is over, and Temple will be advancing
Final score, the Temple Owls 76.
on to the 3rd round.
North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Coach Fran Dunphy and the Owls win at 76-72. With perhaps a matchup against the #1 seed in the East, Indiana, on Sunday. First, the Hoosiers will have to face James Madison in a few minutes here in Dayton. But Temple had a lead again, up to 18 at one time. Holds on to win it here, 76-72.
Some clutch free throw shooting down the stretch. The difference late.
Tournament games continue live now on CBS, TNT, and True. #1 seed Indiana and James Madison is coming up on TBS. But we'll send you to our studio after these messages.
Khalif finished with 31, just to confirm.